This boxing star doesn't know how to punch.
Wild right hand by Butterbean.
But despite that, he always manages to outscore everyone.
Good night.
There goes Monaco. This fight.
Pure luck? You could say that. But with this luck, the world witnessed something incredible. This is the story of Eric Esch, the biggest boxer who couldn't throw a punch, yet still managed to knock everyone down to the canvas. Eric, who comes from a German background, was born in Atlanta, Georgia. When he was just 4 years old, his family decided to move to St. John's, Michigan. But that wasn't the end of the move for Eric. At the age of 11, they packed up again and moved to Jasper, Alabama. It's easy to imagine how hard all that moving must have been for Eric. Starting over in a new place again and again can't be easy, especially for a kid. New homes, new schools, and new friends. It's a lot to handle. It probably felt like things were just getting harder with every move. Eric had a tough childhood. His mother passed away when he was just 8 years old, leaving a big hole in his life. To make things worse, he was often picked on at school because of his weight. Losing someone you love and dealing with mean kids every day would be hard for anyone. With all these challenges, it might seem like Eric didn't have much of a chance to succeed. Most people would think that a kid going through so much wouldn't be able to rise above it. But Eric's big break finally happened when he was working at a factory in Addison, Alabama. He was busy putting together floors for manufactured homes at the Southern Energy Homes plant. One day, his coworkers challenged him to do something exciting. They dared him to enter a local Toughman contest. He decided to give it a shot and signed up for the competition, which included training in Bay City, Michigan. Even though he didn't have much experience, he worked hard and prepared for the challenge. His determination paid off when he won the tournament. Eric's fighting career took off in the early 1990s when he entered the Toughman contest scene in Texarkana, Arkansas. He didn't just compete, he dominated. Over time, he became a 5-time World Toughman heavyweight champion, ending with an impressive record of 56 wins, 5 losses, and 36 knockouts. His success turned him into a rising star. People were amazed by his power and determination in the ring. As his popularity grew, it seemed like nothing could stop him from reaching for even bigger challenges. And then came the moment no one could have predicted. Eric's fame and success eventually led him to face one of the most legendary boxers in history, Mike Tyson. Who would have thought a guy who started with a factory dare would rise to such heights?
Well, will we ever see you fight a 10 round?
You know what? If it's not broke, don't fix it. But if they want me to fight 10 rounds, Mike Tyson, anytime.
Eric earned the nickname Butterbean while preparing for his Toughman contests. But why that name? Well, it came from the unusual diet he followed to meet the Toughman weight limit of 400 pounds. His meals mostly consisted of chicken and butter beans, and the name just stuck, thanks to his trainer, Prose Buell. Sticking to this strict diet, Eric managed to qualify and continue competing in the Toughman contests. His dedication showed how serious he was about his career in the ring. The nickname Butterbean might sound funny, but it became a big part of his identity as a fighter. In 1998, Butterbean stepped into the ring for a free fight against Troy Roberts. This was just one of the many battles that added to his growing reputation as a tough and fearless competitor. Many people believed Eric had no chance of winning. They thought he was too overweight to fight properly, and said he couldn't even land a good punch. When he tried to throw punches, it seemed like they missed or barely made an impact. To the crowd, it was almost like he was punching the air. Even with all the criticism and doubt, Eric refused to let it bring him down. Whenever his name was called, Eric held his head high and stood proudly. He wanted to prove to everyone that he belonged in the ring. Eric's reputation for not being able to punch made him the center of attention, but not in a good way. Fans would already assume he was going to lose before the fight even started. Many believed his opponents had an easy win ahead of them because, in their eyes, Eric simply couldn't throw a proper punch. This bias followed him into every match, and it was no different when he faced Troy Roberts. People thought Roberts had the fight in the bag. Eric's past struggles in the ring made it hard for anyone to see him as a real competitor. Fans were convinced that Eric's inability to land strong punches meant he didn't stand a chance. During his fight with Roberts, Eric spent most of his time on the defensive, taking punches instead of throwing them.
One round of boxing his last 15 months, That was a January 16th.
Even though Eric wasn't known for punching like other boxers, the experts noticed something special about him. Boxing analysts said that when Eric's punches did land, they were incredibly powerful. His punch was so strong that it could leave his opponents dizzy and off balance. People might have doubted him, but his strength was undeniable. Eric's punches were rare, but they packed a punch, literally. Most of the time, if his hit connected, it could knock his opponent out. That destructive power gave him an edge, even when fans and critics thought he didn't stand a chance. His ability to surprise everyone with a well-placed punch made him a dangerous fighter in the ring. Take his fight against Troy Roberts, for example. Many believed Eric would lose that match. They thought Roberts had the upper hand because of Eric's punching reputation. But Eric proved them wrong. He landed his powerful punches, and in the end, he walked away as the winner.
It's a little better. Yeah, it's Roberts in front.
Roberts is real back to his feet. Joe Cortez, the count.
Eric continued his boxing career with a mix of wins and draws, but not all of them were without debate. Many fans and experts believed some of his victories and draws were controversial. They thought the decisions made by the judges didn't always seem fair, which caused quite a bit of talk in the boxing world. One of Eric's most memorable wins was against Peter McNeely. During this fight, everyone was surprised because Eric's punches were actually landing. This wasn't something people expected, but it changed the whole match. Eric managed to overpower McNeely, even though McNeely seemed to have all the advantages on his side. When it came to height, Eric was clearly at a disadvantage. McNeely was taller, which usually helps in boxing, but Eric didn't let that stop him. He used his strength and determination to fight back, proving he could handle even tough opponents. The key to Eric's victory was his destructive punch. As soon as his punches connected, they made a big impact. It was clear that his power in the ring gave him an edge, and it was this strength that helped him win against McNeely.
McNeely's head back. Another uppercut. It's all Butterbean. McNeely ready to go.
The referee had to stop the fight because McNeely was overwhelmed by Eric's punches. To prevent any more damage, the referee stepped in and called it. This moment made Eric an overnight sensation, especially since most people expected him to lose before the fight even began. His victory surprised everyone and quickly turned him into a big name in boxing. Now, here's something that has always intrigued boxing fans. Eric never defeated an actively ranked heavyweight contender from any of the 4 major boxing organizations: WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO. However, in 1997, his promoter, Bob Arum, persuaded the International Boxing Association to create a title just for him, the IBA Super Heavyweight Championship. But why was this necessary? In a 1999 interview with the LA Times, Bob Arum explained the reasoning behind it. "I came up with the idea to make him king of the 4-rounders and got Dean Chance to create a belt for him as champion of the non-existent super heavyweight division. Eric would then defend this title on occasion, often appearing on the undercards of popular main events. It might seem a bit disappointing that he was given a belt for a non-existent division. But the truth is, despite not having the knockout punch everyone expected, he still outscored his opponents. This is why Eric Butterbean Esch continues to make a name for himself even today. So, what are your thoughts on this? Please let me know in the comments below.